So today our topic, our subject. Hi, Jessica Respus. Thank you so much for signing on. Danielle Glaze, thank you. Nicoletta, thank you for joining. It is great to see your support on this evening. Our topic is you have to see it before you see it. You have to see it before you see it. I want that to marinate just for a moment. I know it sounds a little cliche, but in life, we do have to see things before they actually happen. Thank you, Sabrina Kennedy, for joining. Monika, Monique Bryant, thank you so much for signing on. Blessings to each of you. Gwendolyn Godlock, thank you for joining. You have to see it before you see it. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." So when we think it in our hearts, we become what we think. We become what we think. Amen. And I'm reminded of a story about the little engine that could. I think a lot of the younger people may not know that story, but coming up, that was one of the stories that we had at bedtime. Hi, Sheena. Thank you so much for signing on. The little engine that could. The story goes on, Kane, and it says that there was a long train and the train breaks down. So they have to find someone to carry the toys over this high mountain to the kids. And so this little engine was very small, but he accepted the challenge. Sometimes in life, we have to accept challenges that are or that appear to be larger than we are. So the little engine accepted the challenge, Monika, and the engine began to try to go over the high mountain. And as he begins to go over the high mountain, he runs into some challenges and obstacles, just like we do in life. As we begin to move forward in our dreams, in our visions, in our aspirations, we will run into challenges. We will have obstacles in our way on this journey called life. So as you begin to move forward with your goals, with your dreams, with your aspirations, I do want you to understand that you're well able to fulfill your dreams. Yes, you're going to encounter dream snatchers. There are people that have been placed to try to snatch the very dream that you have inside of you. Yes, you will run into dream killers, people that will try to kill the very thing that you know you were destined to be. Taurus, you will encounter some dream killers because, young man, you have visions, and I watch you on Facebook and you have aspirations. And so, Taurus, on this journey called life, you will run into some dream snatchers and some dream killers, but don't you let that stop you. And I have to add this, unfortunately, sometimes our dream killers and our dream snatchers could be our family members. Unfortunately, sometimes they can be our so-called friends. Yes, you will encounter challenges, you will encounter obstacles. And then sometimes we become our own challenge. Sometimes we get in our own way. And sometimes we allow others to talk us out of our giftedness. We know what we possess inside of us. We know what we were born to do. We know our purpose. But then we can allow someone else to come and snatch that away from us and cause us to doubt ourselves. You know, we know that we were born for this, because when you do what you were born to do, you get this blessed assurance. You get this feeling on the inside. Yes, I am doing exactly what I'm called to do. And then somebody will come and try to steal and kill and snatch your dream. But I want to encourage you on this evening to be encouraged and to continue to move forward with your dream. So again, the little engine that could. It was a little small engine, Danielle, and this engine was small in stature and size, but began to take this big obstacle and fulfill it. And so I like it when the engine began to encourage himself. The engine said, I think I can, King. He says, I think I can, Monika. Jamie, he says, I think I can. And so I began to think about that. I said, so we have to think it before we actually see it, before we do it. So I want you to see it before you see it. Hi, Anna Sabrina. Thank you so much for signing on. I want you to see it before you see it. I want you to be able to envision it. I want you to put that goal, the dreams, the aspirations in front of you, even maybe a vision board. And I want you to see yourself in that position. I want you to see yourself as the little engine could. He said, I think I can. I think I can. And the book goes on to tell us that he successfully gets over that high mountain. And so he encouraged He encouraged himself. So again, I want you to encourage yourself, Sharon Aiken. Sometimes, on this journey called life, we'll be discouraged. We'll be our own obstacles, our own challenges. And then we'll have family member and friends that will join in and become obstacles and dream killers and dream snatchers. But I want you to encourage yourself during those times and say, I think I can. And I want to take it a little bit further because I know the definition of thinking. The definition of thinking is when you think of it, it means that you're not sure, that you have a little doubt. So we're going to take the word think out, and we're going to put the word is I know I can. Because when we say no, that means there's not any doubt in our mind that we're able to accomplish the goal that we're trying to perform, what we're trying to do. So in other words, I want you to do one thing different than the little engine that could. The little engine that could said, I think I can. Yeah, he had an idea of what he could do. And I'm excited about that, and that's good for the little engine that could. But because it's almost 2020, we're going to switch it up a little bit, and we're going to say, I know I can. So whenever you get ready to sit down to pen that book, I want you to say before you even start writing, I know I can write a bestseller. I want you to go ahead and when you sit down to do your business plan, I want you to go ahead and say, Monika, I know I can. And I want you to sit down whenever you get ready to purchase your home, Tia. And I want you to go ahead and outline it however you want to. And I know I can accomplish this. So we're going to go from thinking, which is the process of not knowing. I knew that definition. It just took a minute. That thinking is the process of not knowing. So we're going to go from thinking to knowing that we are well able to accomplish every goal, every dream, every vision, every aspiration. So all the business owners, go ahead and get your plan together. And as you begin to write, say, I know I can. All of the authors out there, as you begin to pen your book, go ahead and say, I know I can. And for the singers, yes, I know there are some people out there that can sing. I want you to go ahead and get your songs ready and just write, I know I can. I know you can do it. We have to think, and our thinking has to be in line with our visions. One of my favorite quotes is from Muhammad Ali, and it's as follows. He says, if my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it. One more time. Muhammad Ali says, if my mind can conceive it, if my mind can conceive it, and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it. So again, I want you to see it before you see it. I want you to understand that whatever your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, your visions, I want you to get it right here, and I want you to see it before you see it. So today we have our first guest with us, and our first guest is Miss Monika Hewitt. Monika started events and event plannings for her family and friends at a very early age, since the age of 19. She started her business for herself in 2017. Making Memories, Events and Design is the name of her business. Making Memories, Events and Design is the name of her business. Again, let's welcome our very first guest, Miss Monika Hewitt. Just happens to be a very personal friend of mine. We worked together for almost 14 years at my previous job, and it is so good to have you in the studio tonight. I'm super excited about your business and how you took that leap of faith and how you saw it and in your mind before you saw it with your naked eye. Yes. And it is important for us to understand that we have to see it with our spiritual eye before we can see it with our naked eye. Yes. So I know for a fact that this could not have been the easiest things, and I'm sure you may have had some dream snatchers and some dream killers along the way. I did. So share with me actually how you started the business and what motivated you, and how did you find your passion?
I've always had a passion, Sharon, and thank you for inviting me. And you are definitely an encourager. So for me, I can remember many times you would always greet me with, hello, beautiful. Hello, beautiful. Hello, sunshine. You have a spirit about yourself that encourages anyone that crosses your path. So when you asked me to come on, I was honored. So yes, I do know about the dream killers and the dream snatchers. When I started my business, Making Memories Events and Design, like you said, I've been doing this since I was 19, actually earlier than that. Most little girls played with Barbie dolls, and you wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to dress the Barbie dolls up, and I wanted to, make everything pretty, and, I wanted Barbie to marry Ken, and I wanted, to do the baby showers. Those were the things that I wanted to do as a little girl. I loved all things pretty. So that manifested itself, and I began to help with events for family and friends. I loved planning a party. I loved planning a simple cookout. It turned into an affair all by itself. So I knew it was in me. As you said, you know what your destiny is, but life happens, fear steps in, and sometimes you don't do what you know that you are supposed to be doing.
Right.
I definitely will say that fear kept me from doing my business. In 2017, actually the end of 16, I was on a photo shoot, and I was just helping out styling. And the bride, I was just there just being me. And I was asking her questions about her business, her wedding, upcoming wedding, and we got to talking. And literally, it was just bubbling out of me. So she asked the photographer, did he think that I would help her plan her wedding? And he told her, well, let me ask her and see. So needless to say, I was going to plan her wedding. As life had it, I had to move real quickly, had to get a contract together, had to meet with her and get things in order because I wasn't ready, or I didn't think that I was. So sometimes God will put you in a place that you don't even know you're supposed to be in.
Wow.
So that you can make some things happen.
Absolutely.
So my son had went off to college. I was taking care of my mother and my aunt at that time and working a full-time job. But there was still a longing inside of me. So with that being said, I got everything in order. I met with this young lady. We got things going. And I felt good. I enjoyed the planning process. So from that, I began to say, okay, this is what I want to do. And I started saying it to people. And sometimes when you see it before you see it, sometimes you got to see it in tunnel vision. And sometimes maybe you need to move a little bit in silence.
Wow.
Because everybody that you tell your dream to, they don't necessarily want to see you succeed for various reasons.
That's good, Monika.
So I had to learn, maybe don't tell everything, just put some actions in. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and make some moves.
I understand.
And then when they ask the question, well, what are you doing? I'm doing it. I know I can. Not I think I can. I know I can.
Awesome.
So as that came about, a young lady came to my house, literally, and said, I want you to plan my wedding. What? So this was bride number 2 in less than 6 months.
Wow.
And I said, okay. I said, well, have you heard of this venue? She had never heard of it. So I made a phone call because I wasn't on this venue's preferred vendor list. I had met this lady probably 2 years earlier, but it wasn't my time.
That's good, Monika.
Wasn't my time.
That's good.
Wasn't my time.
That's good.
But I remembered her and I made an impression on her. So when the young lady reached out to the venue owner and said to her, this is where I'd like to have my wedding, but looking at your contract, I have to have a planner that you approve. So when she told the young lady my name, she said, oh my goodness, I know her. Yes. So that was my way to get in at that moment.
Venue.
And as soon as I saw the young lady, we embraced. She said, I'm so excited. So again, it wasn't my time, but my time was coming. My time was coming. So the business grows at a pace that I'm excited about with having a full-time job and other responsibilities. So I have a full-time job and a full-time business that I absolutely adore. So when you speak of seeing it before you can see it.
Yes, ma'am.
I've already seen it.
Oh,
I've already
wonderful.
seen what 2020 is going to bring.
Wonderful.
I've stepped out and I've been afraid to do certain things. I did an entrepreneurial conference in Charlotte, North Carolina. There was a young lady that I follow on social media.
Yes.
And I reached out to her because I loved what she did. And we had worked together a couple of times. Her
Give
name
her
was
a shout out.
Bianca
Yes.
Shelley Robinson with Caden K Consulting. And I asked her, would she be willing to come to Charlotte and speak? She said, sure. You pick a date. I'll be there. Okay, well, wait. Let's roll back. Let me see how I'm going to make this work. So I did it. We promoted it for, I think, 45 days. For 30 of those days, not one ticket had been purchased.
Wow.
But in the end, I had 13 attendees. I also had 5 people who couldn't attend the conference, but they wanted to pour into my dream because they could see before I could see, and we were looking at something together.
Okay,
so
Monika.
They said, I can't come.
Right.
Prior obligations made it where I can't come, but I want to make sure that I'm able to allow someone else to come to be a part of what you're doing.
Yes.
And that's what they did. So we did that, and it was such a sense of an accomplishment for me.
I bet.
And when I got up to tell my story, of course, I was nervous. No different than sitting down with you today. But I feel good about being able to say what I've been able to do.
Yes.
It may not be at somebody else's pace.
Right.
Today's times we look at other people and, maybe I can't do that. But you don't know what part of the story you're seeing.
Right.
You're looking at them, but how long have they been doing it?
Exactly.
Whatever that something is.
Exactly.
But for me, it was like, okay, put your blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
Move a little slowly.
Uh-huh.
Move a little quietly.
Yes.
Don't tell everything. Just move. Just move. Mm-hmm. And I've been blessed.
Yes.
That it has done exactly what I wanted it to do.
Absolutely.
When I get afraid, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to do this. Every single solitary time, God shows up and said, okay, let me show you. You got to see it before you see it.
Absolutely.
And it has been great. We've planned weddings. We've done galas, family reunion parties. We've done the workshop. We're putting together another workshop. We've traveled to other cities. We've did destination weddings,
yes.
As well as people coming to the coast. We've also traveled to plan weddings. And the one thing that every bride so far has been able to say about us is they enjoy the fact that we take their vision and bring it to fruition.
Yes.
I love to get to know my brides. One of the stories I tell is that I have a client. She got married in 2006. She got pregnant in 2008. I literally still keep in touch with them today.
That is great.
So she and her husband, when they come to visit, because they live in California, she always makes it a point to reach out. So planning her wedding, we ended up staying connected because if you're with someone that many months, you tend to develop a relationship with them.
Yes.
And that's what I try to do. Everyone can have their dream wedding. Your dream wedding may not be the next person's dream wedding.
Absolutely.
But let's figure out how we can get you what you're wanting.
Exactly.
And that's what we do. One of the things we say is your details require our attention.
I like that.
So we try to make sure that we give you the attention that you need and deserve when it comes to planning one of the biggest events in your life.
Absolutely.
So that's what we do.
That is great. Now you do weddings and events.
Yes,
so
life
you
celebrations.
Traveled recently to do a birthday party.
I did. I traveled to Texas to do a 50th birthday party, and it was phenomenal. She called and said, hey, can you plan this for my mom? And I said, sure. Let's see if we can make this happen.
Yes.
So we shipped stuff. We sent stuff. I took stuff on the plane, and we made it happen. And I think it was probably about 100 people there.
That is great.
So, yes.
That is great.
Yes.
So you travel, and I know you did a destination wedding in Cancun.
Yes.
So, yes, it's going well. I'm excited for you because this is just the beginning of your dreams. And I did listen attentively, and you said that you actually see things that's going to happen in 2020 for your business. And so I'm excited about that because we can never get content where we are.
No.
Because I hear people say all the time, and I used to say it myself, that we're going to reach for the moon. And, I'm inclined to believe in the stars that there's no limitation to what we can have. So I'm not reaching for the moon nor the stars. I want to walk in everything that God has for me, and I want everything that He has for me. And I do believe I am a believer that we have to think it, and then we have to see it, and we have to believe it. And that's why I love Muhammad Ali's quote, because he says, if your mind can conceive it, and it has to start there.
Yes.
And your heart can believe it. It has to happen there.
Yes.
Then you can achieve it.
Most definitely.
So mind, heart, and then you're able to achieve. And so in your mind, you conceived your own business.
Yes.
I love people that step out on faith and do what they've been called to do. And then in your heart, you believed it. There was something in you that made you believe that you could do this. I heard you say fear, but it didn't stop you.
No.
I heard you say you were afraid, but it didn't stop you.
No.
So what is it? What happens, Monika, when fear comes in and you become paralyzed for just a moment because it's fleeting? What is it that pushes you to say, I know I can?
Just that. I know that there's something inside of me that makes me be able to do exactly what I do. No one else is Monika Michelle. So therefore, this is my destiny. Yes. This is what I'm supposed to walk in and do. And when I do it, from the time I take on a client and we have the first initial conversation, I know if it's a good fit. And if it's a good fit, it doesn't seem like work. Another cliche, but you hear it. If you love something and you're passionate about it and you're doing it, it doesn't seem like work. So those 10, 12, sometimes 14-hour days, yes, I'm tired. But there is a satisfaction.
That's good, Monika.
That I get when at the end of the night, when everything is, and there's going to be some hiccups, there always are, but I can do it.
Yes.
And I'm going to keep doing it because it's something that I want to do. And I know this is where I'm supposed to be. Some people are called to cook. Some people are called to do television shows. I was called to plan events and weddings. This is what I'm supposed to do. And I know that in every fiber of my being, I know that this is what I'm supposed to do. When the fear comes, I have my moment.
Yes.
And then I keep moving forward because I know I can.
Yeah.
I know I can. I know I can.
So you encourage yourself in those
Most
times.
definitely. And you have to.
Yes.
You have to be able to encourage yourself because sometimes you look to your right and to your left. There's nobody that can encourage you because they don't understand your story.
That is so good.
You
or
see
your
what I'm
vision
saying?
or
your
dreams.
vision.
Yes. Where you want to go.
And they may tell you, well, girl, you got a good career. You should just continue to do that.
Yes.
That is true. I do have a very good career, but I also have a very good business. And I'm not going to allow you to put your limitation.
You better say that
on my life.
Can't do it.
I've done that before.
Absolutely.
And I wasn't happy. And I think we've all been in that season.
Absolutely.
But as you grow, I am Monika Michelle.
Yes.
This is what I'm called to do. And I enjoy it.
Yes.
I'm perfectly okay with it.
Yes. And it is amazing how when you first came in tonight and we were just discussing and I was like, hello, queen. And it is amazing how when you sit to the table with winners, your conversations are different. And I surround myself with people that believe in me, but I also surround myself with people that know my abilities.
Yes.
And they stretch me.
Yes. Not yes people. You don't want the people that are just going to tell you, yeah, girl, you can do that. You need people that are going to stretch you.
Yes.
They're going to believe in you, but they're going to also call you and say, wait a minute now. Have you thought about doing it this way?
Exactly.
You need people that are going to stretch you and help you grow.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Not the yes people.
No.
Not the haters. Not the naysayers, but that positivity.
Absolutely.
And that's any leader, business owner, whatever it is, singer, songwriter, author. You have to see it before you see it. But you have to surround yourself.
That is absolutely
Someone
true.
said to me, actually it was Bianca, said to me the other day, if you're the smartest person in the room, that's the wrong room for you to be in.
I say that all the time. I tell my friends that all the time, and I actually guard my spirit, and I don't sit with everyone, and it's not that I think I'm better than anyone else.
Most definitely.
But I understand the giftedness and the call, and so I surround myself with certain people, and I protect myself. So it is also important to not allow people to become a leech and pull on you to keep you from reaching your destiny. And again, we call them dream snatchers and dream killers.
But that negativity,
yes,
that negative energy, you don't need that.
Absolutely.
You need someone who's going to say, okay, listen, I need you to level up your business, level up your abilities, but to push you.
Absolutely.
So, but when they're not around, you have to be able to push yourself.
Absolutely.
You know, late in the midnight hour, you got to be able to push yourself.
Monika.
You know, when you sitting up and it's like, okay, I got to design this room, but wait a minute, it doesn't look right to me.
Yes.
You step away from it,
Yes.
you go back to it and say, okay, let's do this. And you do it.
Absolutely.
But you have to be able to encourage yourself, even in fear. Every single day of the event, I'm afraid. But I get up, I do my affirmations, I say my prayer, and I move forward. Because this is what I was supposed to do.
This is what you've been called to do.
Yes.
And knowing that is half the battle. When you know what your gift is, and when you know what your purpose is, and you believe it in your heart, it's hard for somebody to snatch that from you because you already know this is what I have been called to do. everything that I know God has called me to do, I know it when I'm doing it, because I have this sense of it's easy. It's not difficult. It's not a pull or tug. And then I'm like, you know what? This is what he wants me to do. One of the many things. And I don't limit myself to just, like you said, you could have it all. Whereas people may want you just to have a career, and you have an excellent career and a very good job. I had
Most
opportunity
definitely.
to work there, and that is great.
It is.
But that's not the end of Monika Michelle.
No.
There's so much more. And so many times we allow people to put us in boxes. I don't belong in a box.
Right. But you have to believe that yourself.
Absolutely.
You have to
Absolutely.
believe it, and you have to encourage yourself.
Yes.
You have to encourage yourself, even through fear.
Especially through fear.
Yeah.
Especially through fear.
For me, setting my own pace is, I know I'm an early bird. So for me, I get up early and I can plan out my day. I have to make my list before I go to bed. So then I know how my next day is going to go, because I still have my career. That's 8 hours.
Right.
You know, I have my mother that I take care of. So I have to make sure that there's enough time for everything, as well as my business.
Absolutely.
I can't give 8 hours to my business and then 8 hours to my career, and then come home and sit and twiddle my thumbs and think my business is going to grow, because that's not going to happen.
Right.
But you have to pace yourself. You have to make a plan. You know, I'm reminded by write the vision, make it plain.
Yes.
That's how I live my life every day.
Absolutely.
There is a notepad by my bed. There's a notepad in my office. There's a notepad in my car. There's a notepad in my truck. So I make sure that as I go through my day, if something comes that I need to remember to do, I need to take a moment and write it down.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I just need to write down a new vision. I need to put it on paper, because as long as it's just in my head, it's a dream. But when I put it on paper, I get to go back to it, and it starts to become real.
Absolutely.
So then I flip. I can flip back and see, okay, this is what I want. And every 30 days, I get a new main notebook, so that I can put down any ideas and any visions that I have that are given to me, so that I can move forward. But I keep them all so I can go back, because maybe February wasn't the month that I complete everything. Someone once said, you have to sow the seed. It has to be watered and nurtured to grow before you ever see the blossom come up out the ground.
Absolutely.
But you got to sow the seeds first.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The same day you plant the seed is not when there's going to be fruit on the tree.
Absolutely.
It's a process.
That's the thing right
It's
there.
a process.
It is a process.
And it's not an easy process.
No.
I don't want to mislead anybody. It's not an easy process, but it is a process that I enjoy.
Yes.
And that I don't plan to stop.
Absolutely.
So for me, I pace myself. I give myself breaks. I'm real big on self-care. So you do the things that work for you to be able to grow. So if that's a massage, if that's a facial, if it's a girl's trip, you do those things in order to grow.
Absolutely.
You take time to pull back, and then you go back to what you were doing.
That is so important. Self-care is very important. And as women, so many times we wear so many hats
Most
that we
definitely.
forget to take care of
Yes.
ourselves.
Yes.
And so that is one thing that I am trying to do, is balance
Yes.
everything I have going on in my life at this time.
And I don't know if it's so much of a balance as the fact that we have to pace.
Absolutely.
Because if
Absolutely.
you're doing this for the balance, your hands are full. You got to be able to say, okay, I can't do this right now, but it can go to next week, or it can go to the next day, so that I can make sure that I can get all things accomplished.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
celebrate the small things.
Oh, I enjoy that. That's one of my, I celebrate small victories.
Most definitely.
Because every victory to me is important.
Most definitely.
And so I am a celebrator of small victories.
Yes.
And I don't care how insignificant it may seem to others. If I achieve something, I am so excited.
Right.
And it doesn't matter exactly what it is. But to see myself moving, my grandmother used to say that it's a bad water that doesn't move. She said it becomes stagnant and it begins to smell. So that lets me know that I need to keep moving. So the small victories allow me to understand that there are larger victories in store for me. And so I celebrate the small victories. So Monika, if there's someone like maybe 13, 12 or 6 or 7 that's watching tonight, what could you say to a younger girl or young lady that they aspire to start their own business? Because the kids these days, they're not thinking about working for other people.
No.
Their mindset is already on I can do this,
I can
achieve this.
do it.
So how would you speak to her and motivate her and encourage her as she grows older and mature to develop her dreams and goals?
Write it down. Get a journal. Get a journal.
Mm-hmm.
Write your thoughts down. Whatever the first business idea, the second business idea, write it down. Ask your parents, ask the teachers or the leaders that are around you, whether it be school or church or your parents, wherever it is. Ask them to help you. Go to the library, get online, research, find a mentor, even young. I had a 16-year-old young lady who she loved watching me put together and pack up for an event because she wanted to understand what it was like. She saw the end result. She didn't understand how hard we worked in the background.
Yes. That goes back to what you said earlier about the process.
Yes.
There is a process for everything.
You know, it's beautiful on the end.
The finished product.
But all of that getting ready and the packing up and the taking it down and, you know, all of those things. So to any young person that has aspirations to start a business, don't give up on that. Mm-hmm. And don't allow anybody else to make you think that you can't. Because if you believe it, mm-hmm. you can achieve it. Whatever it is, you can do it. And as you grow, that 13-year-old, don't lose your dream. Write the vision. Mm-hmm. Write the vision. Find someone. If it's to be the best hairstylist in the town where you are.
Absolutely.
Go ask someone, can you just sit in the shop and watch? You know how when we were little girls, some of us, that was not my thing, but some of us, you wanted to sit at the kitchen table and watch your parents or your mother or your grandmother cook because you wanted to cook like them. Mm-hmm. So therefore, you sat, you observed. And then when you got old enough, they let you mix something up.
Right.
They might let you make the cake. You know, you got to do those things, but never lose sight of what you want to do. And if you don't think anybody believes in you, find somebody else to tell your dream to.
Absolutely.
Because there's always somebody that's going to be willing to listen and encourage you. Find that person that's going to encourage you to go after that dream.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Like literally find that person that's going to listen mm-hmm. to you tell what you would like to be. Yes. But if they're not listening, find someone else. Don't let anybody take it away from you. If it's in your spirit that's what you want to do, keep going until you find somebody. Because literally it is possible.
Oh, absolutely.
There's the little girl who did the lemonade. I think she was 8 years old.
Saw that. I read
that. You know, that was just one that comes off the top of my head. Mm-hmm. There's a young man who made bow ties.
Yes.
You know, he had to believe it. He had to see it before he could see it. And he had to talk to an adult who had to believe and see
his vision,
in his vision and make it happen.
Absolutely.
You know, that little girl has a thing of lemonade that's sitting on store shelves.
Yes.
At 8 years old.
Amazing.
You can't tell me it's not possible if you're willing to just listen.
Absolutely.
And continue to go after it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, entrepreneurship is definitely a beautiful thing.
It is.
You just have to keep going. So if there is some young person who has aspirations to do something, if you don't have anybody to talk to, reach out to me on social media.
Absolutely.
I may not be the person that knows anything about what you're doing, but I do know that I can encourage you, and out of friends and colleagues and different people that I know and come in contact with, we're going to find you somebody that's going to be able to talk to you to help you see the bigger parts of your dream.
Absolutely.
Don't sit in silence.
Absolutely.
Make sure that you go after it.
Absolutely. And for the older people, such as myself, I'll be 50 on my birthday next year. I'm excited about that.
Most definitely. Yes.
I intend to bring it at 50.
That's all right. Yes.
So at my age, you know, I started back school, and there's some other things that I have going on in my life. So to the ladies that may be older and think that it's too late, you know, how can we encourage them to let them know that it's never too late? Because this is, you know, my belief. And I don't try to force it on anyone else, but I believe that as long as there's breath in my body, whatever I want to do, by the grace of God and His assistance, I can do it. Yes. And so people look at me and like, "Why are you back in school again? And why not?"
Exactly. Why not?
Why not?
If you can see it before you can see it.
Absolutely.
So if they're older, I'll be 47 this year. Mm-hmm. So some people are like, okay, you're closer to retirement. Why don't you? There's a whole lot more in me.
What you talking about?
You know, so it doesn't matter. You know, I have empty nests. You know, like, let's.
I have not experienced that yet, but trust me and believe me.
Yes, It is definitely a difference.
Excited
it is
about
definitely
that.
a difference.
Not
and
that
all
I
of a
don't
sudden,
love my sunshine, but I want to put
it's
that
all
out
of
there.
a sudden it becomes about you.
Absolutely.
And for so many women, we wear so many hats.
Absolutely.
And a lot of us earlier in life, you do have the many different hats. You're the mom, you're the homework, you're the chauffeur, you're all of those things. You're sometimes a caregiver to parents or other elderly members of the family. But then when it becomes your time, go after your dream.
Absolutely.
Write that vision.
Absolutely.
You don't stop writing just because you get older.
Absolutely.
The lady I think she's 102, and she just did a marathon. Nobody told her she couldn't.
Absolutely.
She may not have went as fast as others, but she crossed the finish line.
Absolutely.
So,
and even if someone told her she couldn't, she didn't
believe
it. Yes.
Yeah, like you have to believe in what you want to do and go after it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
absolutely.
I definitely feel like it doesn't matter your age.
Absolutely.
You find a way to do what it is that you feel like you need to do. I don't want to get to my 70s and look back and go, well, why didn't I do?
That is good, Monika.
Well, why didn't I try?
That is so good.
No, let me try. Even if it's not meant for me to do in that moment, maybe at 57, it might be.
Absolutely.
47 might not be it, but 57 might, and that's okay.
And I thank you for sharing that, because so many people think there's an age limit to being successful or to accomplishing your goals. But, I'm inclined to believe to never give up on your goals. And it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. There's nothing impossible, especially when you have God involved in your life. And I am a believer, and I'm not ashamed to say that I'm a believer. And I know through him and with him, all things are possible.
Yes.
And so I just want to make sure my goals and vision and aspirations line up with the will of God for my life.
Yes.
That is important as well. But I am excited about you and your business and where it's going. And I know for a fact that the best is yet to come, because I am, I'm a believer that our latter days will be our greater days.
Most
and
definitely.
I also understand that this is just the beginning, and it is a season of multiplication, which means that the things that we touch and the things that we aspire to have will multiply in so many different ways. Some people look for multiplication in finances. I look at it from a different perspective when we're healthy and our children are excelling and when things are going well in our lives, when we can honestly say that we're blessed beyond measures. All those things help me to understand that my latter days shall be my better days. And I want to encourage everyone on tonight. And again, the topic of this show is you have to see it before you see it. And all this month, the rest of this month, I'll have guests on, and we'll continue to talk about this subject, because it is so important. It is so important for us to understand that we don't belong in a box.
No.
For so long, we've been told as women, as African American women, that there are things we cannot do, and there's rooms that we cannot enter in. And we just have to let our young queens know that there are no limitations for us, and that every door is subject to the queen coming in at the right time. And so I'm excited about that, because I do believe that we need to be at tables.
Most definitely.
And so, and another thing is we need to make sure we prepare ourselves for the table.
Yes.
I am inclined to believe that if I sit to the table, I should bring all the things that's required to be at that table. And so when I sit down, I want to put this there. I want to have my documents there to let you know that, I worked hard to get to this table. No one placed me there. I think it's a story, or maybe even a picture. There's a turtle on top on the ledge, and the writing says someone had to put the turtle there. So we have to help each other and encourage each other and motivate each other, but we also have to prepare ourselves.
Right. You have to put the work in.
That's the part about it.
You've got to put the work in.
Yes.
And if you don't know, don't be afraid to ask. Reach out to someone.
Yes.
Some of my biggest supporters have been people that I didn't know, that I reached out to and said, hello, my name is Monika Michelle. You may have to spend money to invest in yourself so that you can grow. I don't have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
I think you should, because you value it more.
That is key. That is key. When you plant into your own ministry, into your own purpose, that is key. That is key.
Because you value that more when you have to take the time to sit in a room, to sit in a classroom, to have a mentoring session, to go through a class, to go through a workshop where you're learning a different avenue of a business that you're interested in doing. You have to be willing to do those things. You have to invest in you, because if you're not willing to invest in
That
you,
is good, Monika, because I know where you're going.
what's going to make somebody else invest in you?
That is so true.
You know
Say
what I'm
that
saying?
again.
You've got to invest in you.
Absolutely.
You know, that may mean, okay, well, I got to save $25 out of this check. I got to save $25 out of this check. But I'm going to get that money together so I can invest in myself so that then I can speak about what I know about so that I can make myself marketable so someone else is going to want to book me as their event planner. Someone else is going to want to book me as their wedding planner.
I like that. You said you make yourself marketable.
Mm-hmm.
That is powerful because you put yourself in position to be successful. And I think it's necessary for us to remember we need to make sure we put ourselves in positions to succeed.
Yes.
Make sure we're at the right place at the right time, eating and with the right, talking with the right people, and making sure that we are investing in ourselves and preparing ourselves.
And when we see others that are starting out or coming up from an area that we've already been through, we've already walked that path.
That's good.
Maybe the steps are a little bit different. Some go fast, some go slow. But take that queen by the hand.
That's good.
And say, let me see, listen, I see what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, maybe I can encourage you. Maybe it's something I can say to you that it's going to help you in your business.
Absolutely.
Because it doesn't have to be difficult for every person. Each one teach one.
Absolutely.
So if you see somebody that's coming up and you're in a position to help them, and it's not always monetary, maybe it's that, you know what, I see you.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing a good job. You keep that up.
Yes.
If you ever just aren't feeling it, call me. I know what it's like to sit in the midnight hour and not sure exactly which way you're going to go.
Absolutely.
And maybe be afraid to speak it in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Because I had to get to a place where I wasn't afraid to be Monika Michelle.
Absolutely.
I wasn't always this way, but I had to get there. So if I see somebody else, come on, girl, let me hold your hand.
This is
Let's see if we can do this together.
One of the things that I admired about you the first time I ever saw you was your level of confidence. You're not arrogant and you're not cocky, but you're confident in who God has called you to be.
Thank you.
And it is so beautiful. Oh my goodness. I love to see confident women, not arrogant, not cocky, but knowing who you are and whose you are and where you belong. And you don't shrink and you don't, make yourself uncomfortable because other people are uncomfortable. So that was one of the things I saw about you that I admire about you. And I love seeing women especially that are confident in themselves and where they're going. And again, we want to encourage everyone, whoever you are. And I hope that Monika and I have been able to encourage you on today.
Yes.
And I am inclined to believe if your mind can conceive it and your heart can believe it, then you can achieve it. And I am excited about where we're going and what God has in store for us. And I can't wait to see your business making memories, events and design.
Yes.
Continue to grow. I love the fact that you're not afraid of using vendors that I didn't even know about. I follow you on social media and I live in Leland and I see this venue in Leland and I was like, where did Monika find this amazing?
The barn at Rock Creek.
Yes.
That is a hidden gem in Brunswick County.
It is so beautiful. And
that's
I saw it.
That's the venue that I was speaking about. The owner's name is Leslie and we worked there so many times. And literally, I love it. And so many people don't know about it.
It is
beautiful. But it's absolutely
It
beautiful.
is
and
beautiful.
You can do so much in that venue.
Yes.
So, yes, you just have to believe it. When you speak of interactions in the first time, I wasn't always that confident.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have to, again, encourage myself.
Absolutely.
But if you want it, nobody's just going to hand it to you.
That is so good.
That
Monika.
doesn't always happen. It's very rare that happens.
That is so good.
So sometimes you got to square your shoulders.
That's what I'm saying.
Put your lipstick on.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Monika Michelle. How are you? You have to walk into that room. You might have to kind of push your way, but you get in that room.
Absolutely.
And you can't shrink back. You have to walk forward.
Yeah. I am inclined to believe if I can ever get to the table,
most
everything
definitely.
Else is going to work
most
out in
definitely.
my favor.
Yes. If you talk with me, yes.
I do believe it's going to happen.
Yes.
It is going to happen. We thank you so much, Monika, for coming on today, being our very first guest. And at this time, I wanted to give some shout outs. A shout out to our music, which is A&A Production. I actually contacted one of my friends and I asked him, I said, I want some music for Respus Live. wanted to have a little beat. And so A&A Production actually took care of that for us. I want to do a shout out to my hairdresser, Chrisilla Kelly Brown, who opened up today to make sure that I was straight. Amen. It's important
Yes.
to make sure you're straight. And my makeup is by Beauty by Drea. And so I'm grateful that they were able to take care of me on today. And of course, our very first sponsor for our very first show is Making Memories Events and Design. Monika is our very first sponsor for our show. So not only is she our guest, she's our very first sponsor. And I am so excited about that. And again, the name of our show is You Have to See It Before You See It. And so I have actually kind of trademarked that saying, and actually had this young lady, her name is Sherry Alvarez. She actually drew this for me.
That is gorgeous.
And I gave her an idea of what I wanted, and she is so amazing. I actually have a hand painting portrait of Christina and I over my fireplace by Sherry Alvarez, and I will give her a shout out on later. So if you want to actually make contact with her. But she designed this for me, and it's hashtag You Have to See It Before You See It. And I am inclined to believe that we can be bold and we can inspire others and beautiful, successful, and creative. So I do want to give this to you. This is my very first shirt of many. And then I have this one, and I know that everybody may not want to wear.
I love this.
Listen, everybody may not want to wear this because it has a picture of myself. I don't know why you wouldn't, but
See,
but
that's that confidence. That's that confidence.
Listen, if you don't want to walk around with a picture of me on your shirt, we have that one, and then we just have the regular hashtag. You have to see it before you see it. So the shirts are available. We have cups. We have all kinds of things available with the picture on it. And again, this is something. If you're interested in a T-shirt, please just hit me up on social media or give me a call. We'll be sure that you get one. And again, we have some other paraphernalia that's coming around, because I want to remind you, when you put this shirt on, I want to remind you and people that you come in contact with that if you can see it before you can see it, you can achieve it.
Most definitely.
And I don't want you to wait until it happens. I want you to go ahead and take that step of faith.
Most definitely.
I want you to go ahead and see it, not with your naked eye, but from a spiritual perspective. And once you see it, before you see it, you're going to walk into it because you've already believed it in your heart.
Yep.
And so you can achieve it.
Yep.
So again, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
and to
you for having
everyone
me.
that signed on. I was trying to keep up, but again, I need a little help with this technology to give some more shout outs, but I can't really tell who's on. But I am grateful that you signed on. And again, we'll be on every Monday at 7 p.m. right here. And our next guest is Rashid from Cape Fear Boxing, who has an amazing story and an entrepreneur of his own right. And I'm so excited. He's going to be here next Monday. I am so excited. Now, let me tell you this about Rashid now. I'm going to say this, and this is just me being truthful. I took boot camp a couple of times there, and I couldn't go back because he was about to kill me. But it is an amazing boot camp, an amazing boxing center. So he's going to be our guest next week. So please go ahead and put it on your calendar and sign in next Monday, same time, same place, same station at 7 p.m. with Rashid at Cape Fear Boxing. Monika, it has been my pleasure to have you here.
It has definitely been
a
pleasure.
I am so excited about what's going to happen in your life and in your business, in your personal life, in your business, and your professional career. I'm excited that you don't have to stay in a box and that you don't have to do just one thing, that you can be great at many things.
Most definitely.
And I want you to receive all the blessings that God has in store for you. I pray his blessings over your life.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful. Definitely a wonderful thing. Oh, my social media, make sure I tell you that. On Facebook, it is Making Memories Events and Design. My website is www.eventsbymme.com. On Instagram, it's also Events by MME. And if you can't reach me by any of those, please reach out to Sharon. She will definitely get you in touch with me. And I meant what I said. If there is a young person,
absolutely,
or an older person who is wanting to do something but doesn't quite know exactly how, I'm not saying I can be the one to get you to where, but I definitely I know what it's like to have something inside that you want to birth.
Absolutely.
And what I know, I'm more than willing to share and put you in touch with someone.
It's a scripture that reminds me of that. The Bible says some plant, some water, and God brings the increase.
Most definitely.
So we can plant the seed and somebody else can come along and water the seed, and then God will do the increase.
Yes, so definitely please follow us on our social media platforms. And we are looking to see great things from Respus Live and Miss Sharon Respus. Thank you for having us. This was absolutely a pleasure.
And I will personally recommend Monika for your events and for your design. She is amazing. She takes pride in what she does, and she does it in the spirit of excellence. And I think that's very important.
Thank you.
And making memories, events, and design. If you're interested in events or weddings or parties, trust me, this young lady is the one that you should actually come in contact with.
Thank you so much.
It has been my pleasure. It has been my pleasure. Again, our subject today was you have to see it before you see it. And I hope and pray that someone has been encouraged on this evening on our very first Respus Live show. Yes, thank you. Jamie is talking to me in the background. I love Jamie. If you'd like to be a sponsor for Respus Live, please contact me and I'll give you the information. And again, Monika, thank you for sponsoring our very first show. I'm excited about that. And so until next time, may his peace be with you until we meet again. Blessings to you all. Bye-bye. Thank you, Monika.